Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about the different options that Excel has for organization tools. So the first thing we're going to talk about today, here are the 4 points we're going to talk about. And the first one is about freezing cells. Now this tool or this option helps us see a certain part of the database, like this database that we've already generated. And it helps us fix or freeze some of the rows or some of the columns. Okay, so right here in view, you can see this option is very simple. It says freeze panes. And as you can see, it's highlighted in blue, the ones that it's going to freeze. Like in this case, it would freeze the first column and the first row. In this context, it would just freeze the top row, and in this one, the first column. So let's observe this. Let's look at this. So if I click on this thing, okay, what it's going to do is you're going to notice that there's a separation here. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't freeze the first ones. It freezes right here generically. So what I can do here is that I can start navigating through this, and it only moves the part that is not frozen. Okay, the same thing over here on the side, and you can even, shift all this stuff around. As long as the top part is frozen. Now another way to do it is I think you click it here, and you can see that it freezes only the first thing that's on the left and the first thing that's on the top. So the top row has been frozen, and the first column has also been frozen. This is of course helpful, very helpful, specifically if you have a super big database, but you always want to know what's on the top, right, or on the first column on the left side, and you could manage it like this. Okay, it says here freeze or unfreeze. Now freeze, you could be anywhere and just freeze the top row, and it's going to, just leave that there, right? Or freeze the first column, and it's only going to freeze that one. Okay, so I like using this quite a bit. Because it does help me, keep an eye on exactly what's on the top, or it allows me to be better organized because I know what column I'm looking at. Sometimes I do forget that, especially like I said, if I have a super big database. So we're going to leave the top row frozen, so we can navigate through the rest of the database of 200 registers that we have here. Okay, cool. Now the next part we're going to be talking about is the filtering. Okay, the filtering is very, very useful. I used it a lot whenever I've been handling a lot of registers, and there's something that I like to see in specific out of all of this, and it's probably not sorted out. It's not in the alphabetical order or anything. So you're going to go here to the Data tab, okay, and you're going to see this button here that says Filter. If you click on the Filter button, let me zoom in a little bit closer. If you click on the Filter button, you're going to see these little expansion buttons that appear right at the top of the column. Okay, if I click on it, it's going to show me this window where it shows me all of the options that appear within that specific column. So for example, if I only want to look at one, I click on Select All, so it deselects everything. Then I select, oh, I just want to look at everything that has to do with paper. So I click here on paper, and it's only going to show me all the options that have the word paper in it. Okay, like in this case, it's as you can see, it's row 8, row 34, 35, 39, 47, etc. So it's not choosing everything. Everything else that we're not interested in, it's basically hiding it. Okay, so if I want to go back, I just click on this thing, click on Select All again, and it basically selects everything again. So if I want to make a combination of all of these, I want to look specifically for one register. So for example, I'm going to click on File Cabinet, okay, and then you can go to the next one. Oh, but I only want stuff that has to do probably with Ontario, Canada. So it's going to give me the options that are available. So I deselect everything and I click on Ontario, Canada. So it's showing me that there's file cabinets that have been bought by Dunder Mifflin, Costco, or Apple, and they're all located in Canada. Gives me the units, the cost, the total. Oh, okay, this is how much money they're spending. You know, you could come to a conclusion. And if you're, let's say that you want everything again. Yeah, I want to look at everything, but I want to see, you know, specific clients. I want to look at what Ford purchased. So we see that Ford only purchased one file cabinet out in Dublin, Ireland. I'm sorry, that they did one order of file cabinets. They ordered 78 units, cost and total, and so forth and so on. Now, these costs are totally random. So, you know, don't think that's the cost of, I don't know, that a phone charger costs $4 or scissors cost $17. That makes no sense. But this is just for the purpose of show. Anyways, so this is a really cool tool to select anything that you want to look at in specific from a list. Okay, and it filters everything out. So this is pretty cool and pretty handy. So I do recommend you using it for your own organization needs. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about sorting. Okay, this is also pretty cool. Let's close this filter. You don't have to, but I'm going to close it now because I'm going to show you what sorting is. Okay, if you click here on sorts, it's going to open this window. Okay, and the first thing I want you to notice is this little button here that says my list has headers. Okay, if I don't select this, then it's going to take the top row as part of the data. Okay, if I click on this, then it's not going to consider it part of the data, so it's not going to sort it out if I need to, if need be. So, well, we'll look at it from the first column right here. Okay, so we've got the same options that appear up here. Here, product, client, location, units, unit cost, total. Product, client, location, units, unit cost, and total. So it's exactly the same thing. So again, I want to order it. I want to order it by product name, from A to Z, or to Z, whatever your preference might be. So if I click here OK, it's going to order everything in alphabetical order. Okay, there we go. First we weren't able to see it, but now we can actually notice that everything's been ordered by alphabetical order. Chairs, computer, desk, eraser, file cabinet, etc., etc. And the last option is tape, because it's the last, the one with the letter T, which is closer to the end of the order of the alphabet. Okay, if I want to reorder something, or if I want to order something in a different way, I'm not interested in the products. I want to look at, I want to order the by client. So the first one that appears on top is Apple, and the very last one is going to be Walmart, as you can see here. Okay, now if I want to make a combination, let's say that I want to order it by client, but I also want to see how much money they spent. So I click here on the little plus that we have here. I click on that, okay, and I expand this thing. But now I want to know the clients by order of client and by how much money they spent. Okay, so I click on total. No, first, excuse me. First client, then I expand this. Oh, I had already expanded it. Sorry about that. So by total, there we go. So by client and total, smallest to largest. As you can see, it changed. Now it's not displaying A to Z. It's displaying smallest to largest because it knows that it's a numerical value, not an alphabetical value. Okay, so I click on this thing. Okay, we're going to see what it does. Now, as you can see, it ordered by client. Okay, but it put the most expensive one at the bottom and the least expensive one at the top. Okay, and it does the same thing for all of the other clients that we have. Like, for example, Ford here, it put the one that spent the least on top, 664, and then the last one at 5,460. So in other words, you know, you can combine these different options. So I want client, but I also want to know, you know, how many units, the ones that ordered the the most units. Now I want to know the most units, not the least. So I'm going to start from largest to smallest. So it's going to display the most on the top. Let's look at it. Let's see what happens. There we go. It reordered, like for example, in this case, Apple ordered 83 units of file cabinets, but only 3 printers. Okay, so there we go. So now it's ordered from the largest to the smallest. Okay, and this is a really cool option again for you to create the order of your registers or the order of all your database depending on your needs. So it's a pretty cool thing to use. Okay, so the final part we're going to talk about is probably the more difficult one, and yet it's also a pretty cool one. This is called conditional formatting. Okay, conditional formatting, what it does is it only changes the way that the cells look depending on the content. Okay, or conditioned by the content. Right here, you're going to go to the home page. Okay, to the home tab, excuse me, and you're going to expand here conditional formatting. Now there's a bunch of stuff here, but I'm going to focus today specifically on the classic new rule. Okay, so we're going to look at the classic new rule. Now I forgot to do one thing. We're going to select, for example, the unit cost. We're going to select everything here. Okay, we select all of this column. Okay, we go to conditional formatting, we click on new rule, and right here in this menu, choose classic. Okay, this is probably one of the more used options. Okay, classic right here. Okay, and we're going to put only format cells that contain right there. And here, okay, we have different options: cell value, specific text, excuse me, dates occurring, blanks, no blanks, etc. So we're going to click here on cell value. Okay, right here it's going to give us a bunch of options. It says between so and so, not between, equal to, not equal to, etc. All of these common conditions, okay, that we have. So we're going to see the unit costs that are less than or equal to. We're going to put a cost of $50. Okay, so well, 50. Just it needs to find the number 50 and find anything that's that value or less. So it's from 50 down, because there's another one that says less than. This would be less than 50. So anything below 50, 49.99, then it starts to do this. Okay, but I'm gonna start by 50. Okay, so less than or equal to. And right here it has a couple of default options: light red fill with dark red text, yellow fill, blah, 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 blah. But I want to customize it. I want to change it into whatever I want. So right here, what's going to happen is that I'm going to click on bold right there. The color, let's say that I want a blue, this blue color. Does it look good? It looks... yeah, but this one looks too dark. So we're going to look at a lighter blue right there and in bold. Okay, so that's pretty cool right there. So I'm going to hit OK. So now, as you can see, anything 50 or lower, it changed it into blue. All right. So for example, let's say that I have here this one that says 72. It's not changed into blue because it's above 50. But if I do this, if I put anything below 50, it's automatically going to adjust it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool option that we have right there. Okay, anything below 50 has been changed into blue. Okay, we're going to choose the exact same column, and we're going to do a little bit more to it. Okay, we're going to add new rule right here. We're going to put classic again. Okay, only format cells that contain cell value. Okay, and now we're going to put anything greater than or equal to. Let's say, what's my range? Let me see what my range is. Anything above 75. Okay, let's put anything above 75. And for anything above 75, now we're going to change it into something else. We're going to put bold, italic, and we're going to put it in red. Okay, so it's going to change everything into bold, italic, red. Let's hit OK right here. So there we go. Hit OK. Very good. So now it's signaled out everything that's above 75 and it changed it into red. So that's pretty cool. It looks really interesting. And what this does is that it allows us to work in a very visual way, right? So now we know exactly what we're looking at. We know exactly what we're looking for much easier. Okay, let's do one last one. Okay, new rule. Again, classic. Okay, only format cells that contain. Okay, cell value again, and right here we're going to put between. This is going to be super interesting. So we did anything below 50, anything above 75. So now I want to look only at stuff that's between 55 and 65. Okay, that's all I want. So as you can see, it gives you two options: the lower limit and the higher limit. So let's go to Customize Format, okay, and then we're going to click on just on Italic. That's all we're going to do. And then we're going to go here to Fill. Right here in Fill, we're going to put a lively background color. We're going to put intense yellow right there. Okay, so anything that's between 55 and 65, it's going to put it in with a yellow fill, and with the numbers italics or italics, whatever you want to say. So let's click on that. Let's see if it's true. Anything between 55 and 65. Yep, there we go. 55, 62, 64, 63. So as you can see, it becomes very visual. So now we know exactly what's happening. We know, and somebody tells you, oh, I just want all the registers, excuse me, that are below 50. And you could do, oh, I've got a couple of perfect examples right here because they're very easily signaled out. Now this conditional formatting thing, I recommend that you explore it as much as you can. You're going to find that it's pretty user-friendly and pretty direct, and you have a lot of options to use this. So again, making emphasis on this, the blue ones are the ones that are less than 50. So for example, or 50 or less. So this one's 60, but I want to make it, there's a change in the cost, and it went down to 49. What's going to happen? The formatting of the cell is going to change automatically. Okay, and let's say that this one, the prices went up on this one for erasers to Samsung in Bogota, Colombia. And this one went up and it went all the way to 63. So it changes on to that, right? And let's look at another one. Let's say that, let's see, this one right here. Printer Milton Bradley in Tokyo, Japan. These prices went up and it went all the way to 77. Man, the prices really went up on that one, right? And as you can see, it automatically adjusts to the conditional formatting that we've already placed there. Okay, so I think that's it. If you have any questions, drop me a message. Please let me know, and I'll gladly respond as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a great day.